based oil spill monitoring system for Sri Lanka, organized by the Marine Environment Protection Authority in collaboration with Collect Localized Satellite France, well known as CLS. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a significant milestone in safeguarding our precious marine environment. The event marks the successful completion of a year-long pilot project led by the Marine Environment Protection Authority in collaboration with CLS, a French company at the forefront of satellite-based maritime safety solutions. Over the past year, this project has utilized technology to monitor and combat oil spills in Sri Lankan waters, demonstrating the power of innovation in environmental protection. And we definitely look forward to a promising future ahead. And to welcome each and every one of you present here this afternoon, I'd like to invite the General Manager of the Marine Environment Protection Authority, Mr. Jagat Gunasekara.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Her Excellency Mrs. Marie Noel Duris, Acting Ambassador, Embassy of France in Sri Lanka and the Maldives. Mr. Olivier Germond, Project Coordinator, CLS France. Mr. H.R. Hassan, Director General, Ocean Affairs, Environment and Climate Change, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Mr. Philippe Poet, Chief of Economic Department, Embassy of France in Sri Lanka and Maldives. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the closing ceremony of the pilot project on satellite-based oil spill monitoring service in Sri Lanka. Today we celebrate the successful completion of this significant pilot project and the strong collaboration between Sri Lanka and France in safeguarding our marine environment. First and foremost, I would like to extend our warm and special welcome to our distinguished guest, Her Excellency Mrs. Marie Noel Duris, Acting Ambassador of the French Embassy in Sri Lanka and the Maldives. We are truly honored by your presence and deeply appreciate the unwavering support of the French government throughout this project. I also wish to warmly welcome Mr. Philippe Poet, Chief of Economic Department at the French Embassy in Sri Lanka and Maldives, Mr. Olivier Germond, Project Coordinator from CLS France. Your leadership and dedication have been instrumental to the success of this pilot project. Additionally, I would like to warmly welcome Mr. Jean Pierre and Mr. Christian Crosset from CLS to this event. I am especially pleased to welcome Mr. Asela Rakava, our former Chairman of Marine Environment Protection. During your tenure, your forward thinking and leadership laid a strong foundation for this project, and your presence today is greatly appreciated. I would like to also acknowledge the invaluable guidance of the Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Wildlife, Forest Resources, Water Supply, Plantation, and Public Infrastructure, whose support has been vital for this initiative. Our warm welcome is extended to representative of Merchant Shipping Secretariat, representative of Sri Lanka Port Authority, and the Fisheries, Ministry of Fisheries and Department of Fisheries. I am also delighted to recognize distinguished representative from the Sri Lanka Navy, Sri Lanka Air Force, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Department of Coast Conservation and Coastal Resource Management, Central Environment Authority, Arthur C. Clarke Institute, and the Department of Forest. Your commitment to protecting our environment has been invaluable, and we deeply appreciate your participation in today's event. A heartfelt welcome goes to our MIPA Board of Directors, and I warmly welcome all Director Board members of MIPA. Lastly, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for the Media Center for the National Development, providing the venue today event, and to the media professional for covering this important milestone. This pilot project, initiated through the MOU signing between MIPA and the CLS France, has significantly enhanced Sri Lanka's capacity to monitor oil spill using cutting-edge technology. Through this initiative, we have successfully detected several numbers of pollution in our waters and managed to take legal action against one vessel. Looking ahead, we are now focused on the next phase, establishing Sri Lanka Satellite Monitoring Center, Lanka Nether project, for autonomous surveillance and broader environmental monitoring. This project has laid the foundation for the future sustainability and protection of our coastal resources. In closing, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to all partners, stakeholders, and everyone involved in making this project reality. We look forward to continuing this important journey together to ensure the long-term preservation of Sri Lanka's marine environment. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jagat Gunasekara, General Manager from the Marine Environment Protection Authority. And for the opening remarks, I'd like to invite on stage Mr. M. Oliver Germain, Project Manager of CLS.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jagat, for these very nice opening words. I'm not going to deliver a very formal speech today, just telling you that I'm very, very happy to be here again after 1 year. I remember we were in the same room for signing the project in September 2003. And after this more than 12 months projects, I would like to say how happy I am to have experienced such a fantastic journey with all the team of MIPA. I think together we have largely contributed to combat oil spill and oil pollution in Sri Lankan waters. And there are many actors to this success. Of course, all the entire MIPA team, which has been so dedicated to the project, so committed, but also our dear partners from Just-in-Time Technology, providing the local support here to CLS during these 12 months. I would like also to quote the partners, experts involved in the project, Mr. Christian Kos, who is with us today, but also the colleagues from CEDRI, the Center for Research and Expertise on Marine Pollution in France, who unfortunately were not able to come today. And as well as my colleague Beatrice Nunfat, who did all the management, the technical management, and the service management, and for personal reason could not come today. So I think, yes, all together, like I said, we have lived a fantastic and human adventure. We have had great success, and it's not the end of the project. It's only the end of the first phase. And we do look forward to continue with you establishing a satellite monitoring center now in Sri Lanka, so that MIPA can, at the end of the day, work fully autonomously and make sure that we can eradicate all spills voluntary oil spills in Sri Lankan waters. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oliver Germain, Project Manager of CLS. And now I'd like to invite Her Excellency Marie-Noël Duris, Acting Ambassador, Embassy of France in Sri Lanka and the Maldives, to address the gathering.
Dear Mr. Hassen, Director General at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, dear Mr. Asela Rekawa, former Chairman of MIPA, dear Ministry officials, representative of Sri Lankan government agencies and of the Sri Lankan Coast Guard, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to be here today as we mark the successful completion of the CLS-MEPA pilot project, a partnership that has been essential for Sri Lanka. Through the French Embassy Economic Department, the French company CLS, which specializes in satellite imagery surveillance, in cooperation with the MEPA, has set up a pilot project to monitor oil pollution. This 600,000 project, funded by the French government through the FASEP program and led by CLS, has played a key role in the protection of the Sri Lankan marine environment by detecting the marine pollution which affects each year the Sri Lankan maritime domain. Over a 12-month period, CLS delivered 207 satellite images, contributing to the continuous monitoring of Sri Lankan waters. In the event of incidents of emergency, this data can be used to provide detailed analysis reports on the sources and extent of pollutions. This project also includes training sessions and technical expertise support for local authorities, covering techniques for detecting hydrocarbons from satellite radar images and protocols to follow in the event of an environmental disaster. The ultimate aim is to strengthen Sri Lanka's sovereignty in the management of its maritime waters using innovative technologies such as satellite imagery. This achievement marks an essential step in the fight against the marine pollution, and it is an example of successful cooperation between France and Sri Lanka to preserve the marine environment and to protect the ocean as a global commons. I would like to thank the Sri Lankan Authority and MIPA for their involvement in this fruitful collaboration. Your leadership has been instrumental in ensuring the success of this project. I also wish to thank the team at CLS whose expertise and innovative solutions have made all the difference. France remains committed to supporting Sri Lanka in the protection of its natural resources, especially in the context of the blue economy, which is a key priority for both our countries. As a member of the Indian Ocean Rim Association, France is fully committed in promoting sustainable ocean governance and addressing the challenges of marine pollution and illegal activities. This project has shown that together, we can make real progress in protecting our environment. What we have put in place will continue to serve Sri Lanka's needs, and I am confident that this partnership will lead to even greater achievements in the future. Once again, thank you to all who contributed to these remarkable achievements. Let us continue to work together for the health of our oceans and for future generations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And now we will be playing a small project movie developed by CLS in collaboration with MEPA related to the satellite-based marine oil spill monitoring.
Lankan authorities say a burned-out cargo ship carrying tons of chemicals has partially sunk just off the port of Colombo. The MV Express Pearl had been on fire for nearly 2 weeks, with much of its hazardous cargo spilling overboard. Workers extinguished the flames, but as the ship was pulled from the sea, the situation deteriorated dramatically in what is being described as Sri Lanka's worst maritime disaster. Situated at the crossroads of major shipping lanes and in the context of increasing traffic, Sri Lanka is currently facing growing environmental risks. In this context, the French Ministry of Economy and Finance proposed to the Sri Lankan authorities to collaborate on oil spill monitoring through a pilot project funded by a grant facility called FACET. CLS, a subsidiary of the French Space Agency, together with its local partner JIT and in partnership with SEB and COS Consulting, marine pollution experts specialized in maritime safety, were selected to implement this cooperation with the Marine Environment Protection Authority.
If not for this surveillance system, we could not have been able to apprehend certain ships which polluted the Sri Lankan waters. Through this pilot project, we can identify, analyze, and apprehend the offenders who commit this type of crimes in our Sri Lankan waters.
This satellite service has already been proven effective by various maritime authorities around the world who have entrusted CLS with this task. In Europe, for example, the Clean Sea Net service, operated by the European Maritime Safety Agency with the support of CLS teams and services, has halved the number of deliberate pollution incidents detected in European waters in 10 years through its deterrent effect.
We have been operating our maritime awareness system for more than 6 months on behalf of Sri Lankan authorities, and we were very surprised by the amount of pollution observed. After our final analysis of the images, our conclusion is that more than 500,000 liters are released to waters every month, which is a very striking conclusion.
The objectives of the satellite monitoring oil project between CLS and MIPA is to fight against pollution in the Sri Lankan exclusive economic zone and more broadly in the Indian Ocean.
Thanks to the space-based mass service provided by CLS, Sri Lankan authorities have benefited from a unique, comprehensive and accurate maritime surveillance capability for the past year. This has made the national authorities aware of the extent of eco-crime in their waters. The integration of this surveillance component will enable Sri Lanka to take action to prosecute offenders and establish a deterrent system to protect marine resources and the environment, which are vital to key sectors such as fisheries, aquaculture, and tourism.
So now, thanks to the French government and the CLS, we are able to monitor and apprehend these offenders. Through that, I think if we continue this service in the future, we can have a safer, cleaner territorial waters for Sri Lanka.
Today, the fusion of cutting-edge space technologies, the expertise of companies such as CLS, and robust French-Sri Lankan cooperation is a model for combating eco-crimes. This project positions Sri Lanka as a leader in the protection of the Indo-Pacific Ocean, an example of our commitment to preserving our planet's resources.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I think at this juncture, it is vital to speak a little bit about the project as well. CLS, a French company, developed satellite-based solutions for a sustainable plan and a leading player in maritime safety, has successfully implemented a year-old pilot project to monitor marine oil spills for the Marine Environment Protection Authority in Sri Lanka to monitor oil spills, especially ship-based oil pollution incidents in Sri Lankan waters. For the past 20 years, Sri Lanka has become the strategic hub for the shipping industries, and the marine traffic and local maritime traffic have been drawn. To date, more than 350 ships passed off the Sri Lanka waters, which constitutes a serious threat to the marine environment. Not only that, recent ship incidents like MT New Diamond and MV Express Pearl were eye-catching incidents regarding the serious threat on the marine environment of Sri Lankan waters. Concerned by this situation, the Marine Environment Protection Authority of Sri Lanka signed an MOU with CLS on the 12th of September 2023 for the delivery of satellite-based oil monitoring services funded with a grant from the French government. This pilot project ended this August 2024. And now, to give us the results of the project, I'd like to invite once again Mr. Oliver Germain, Project Manager of CLS.
Zero. There is something. Okay. So we're waiting for the slides to be displayed.
So we do have to excuse technical failures. So we are sorting the presentation. But until then, I'd also like to invite right now on stage Mr. Niranjan Disanayake, Chief Executive Officer, Just in Time Group, to address the gathering.
Good afternoon, everyone. Actually, I was supposed to speak after Olivier, after he gives you the good news and the success of the project. But unfortunately, due to some technical failures, I have to deliver my speech before his one. So, Just-in-Time Group, Just-in-Time Technologies is extremely proud and thrilled to have been part of this great initiative put forward by the French Embassy, MIPA, and CLS. So I remember exactly 1 year ago in this very room, we started this project. And at that time, I was the Chief Technology Officer. And so I had really good hopes and I wanted to see actual results from the project. And so I'm glad to say that during the past year, we were able to achieve the exact results that we expected. And I first-handedly saw the efforts put forward by the previous chairman, Mr. Asela Rakova, and the Director General, Mr. Jagat, Mr. Neil, and his team, and also the entire CLS team, and Mr. Olivier, supported by the French Embassy. And so I think you saw in the video the first ever operations room put out by MIPA. So that's the first ever operations room to detect marine environmental pollutions through satellite technology. And so Mr. Olivier will give you further details on the success stories that we were able to achieve during the last year. And also he will give you details about the first ever find that we imposed on a ship using satellite-based technology after detecting an actual oil spill. And also, I think we could have achieved more results if there was a proper stakeholder organization. And I think for the coming year, we should discuss and organize and get all the stakeholders together. Because if we stop the initiative right now after the pilot project, all the efforts put forward by CLS, the Sri Lankan government, MIPA, the embassy would go into waste. And I proposed and suggest all the stakeholders to get together and communicate and organize so that we can continue this project and have an actual implementation of a satellite ground station in Sri Lanka and to carry out the tasks ahead. And as Just-in-Time Technologies, we are fully committed for that task, and we will provide whatever the support that we can. But I think we will have a successful another year and a successful project, live project in the coming year. So that's my honest wish as a Sri Lankan, because I know how much, how important marine life and marine environment to Sri Lankans. Thank you very much. I hope Olivier is ready with his presentation and to deliver the success stories. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Niranjan Disanayake, Chief Executive Officer, Just-in-Time Group. And we understand that you're waiting until the results were announced, but sometimes these mishaps do happen and we need to continue. The show must go on. And it's time now for us to reveal the results. So to do the honors, I'd like to once again invite Mr. Oliver Germain.
Thank you. Okay. Wow, yet another technical challenge passed. So yes, this is time for me to give you a few results about the projects. Okay, so what you can see on the slide here is the size of a satellite image, the typical size of a satellite image which has been used during the project. And for you to know, we have been acquired more than 200 images of those during 1 year, during the 12 months project. So you can appreciate the large amounts of area which was covered during 1 year. And the pace of acquisition was that we were acquiring on average 1 image every 2 days. Okay, so in total, 207 images were acquired. And what you are seeing now is the results of this acquisition and all the oil pollutions that we were able to detect during 12 months. Actually, when we started the project, and we were asking MIPA whether or not, can you come back one slide before, please? Yes, thank you. So we were asking, we had asked MIPA whether or not they had an idea of how many pollutions we would detect during this project. And their answer was that they were not too sure because, of course, there was a lack in observation means. Of course, there are aerial observation means and vessel observation means in Sri Lanka. But the fact of using for the first time satellites in the area was really going to help Sri Lanka to better understand the situation in the international waters. And when we presented these results to all the stakeholders, they were very surprised by the results because they probably did not expect to see so many pollutions in the national waters. So in total, 115 pollutions were detected during 12 months, which means that on average, each time we were acquiring an image, we had a more than 50% chance to see a pollution in this image. And we also did an estimation of the volume of pollutant this represents. Think that in total, the total volume of pollutants that we have seen during these 12 months projects was more than 6 million liters of pollutants released to the Sri Lankan waters. So on average, every month, we estimate that 500,000 liters of pollutants have been relieved every month during this period into the Sri Lankan waters. And to give you an idea, the amount of pollutant which was released by the incident of the Express Pearl in 2021 was 350,000 liters. So this means that on average, we have the equivalent volume of the Express Pearl released to Sri Lankan waters every month. That's the first striking result of this project. So, as you know, not only we were able to detect the pollutions, but we were also able to identify the potential polluters in some cases. And for this project, we were able to do so in 26 cases. So out of the 115 pollutions detected, in 26 cases, we were also able to identify the polluter and to point to them to take possible actions. Now, because we were not in a fully operational context, like you said, like you have understood, the service was carried out from France, and the information was conveyed to MIPA with a significant delay of several hours. It was difficult for MIPA and for the stakeholders in Sri Lanka to use this information in a very efficient manner and to act to provide a response at sea. But in one case, in one favorable case, they were able to do so. And in February 2024, the tanker was actually arrested and condemned for having released oil spill, an oil spill to off the harbor of Colombo. And this tanker was actually fined up to the maximum amounts allowed by the national regulations, which is 15 million rupiah. So we consider this as a very good success, a very good success story that prove that if we are organized enough and if we have the opportunity to use this information in a very efficient manner, meaning to have some local means and to have some local coordination among the different stakeholders, including the assets at sea managed by the Coast Guard and the Navy, we should be able to generalize this and to fight very efficiently against polluters. So this is actually what we would like to do as a next step. If you can move to the next slide, thank you. This slide here is illustrating what we would like to do in the future as a second step. What we need to have now is to have the local facility, the ground station, installed in Sri Lanka so that the signal, the images acquired by the satellite can be sent directly, downlinked directly to Sri Lanka and be used in near real time so that we reduce the delay between the acquisition of the satellites and the moment where we have the report and we can provide the response at sea. Once we got this facility installed in Sri Lanka, we are convinced that we should be able to eradicate the problem of marine pollution just because we'll be much more efficient to combat the polluters. And by opportunity, this system, this ground station system, shall not only serve for marine pollution, but for other applications. And the one we have in mind, which is quite straightforward in the marine domain, is also to use such antenna, such ground station, to address the critical issue of illegal fishing. So by using the same kind of technologies, we should be able to detect the vessel having illegal fishing activities at sea and to arrest them so that we can cut also this kind of issue in Sri Lanka. That was, in a few words, the description of the project. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olivier Germain, Project Manager of CLS. And now we'd like to open the floor for questions. Please raise your hands if you have any questions. You can pose your questions in all 3 languages. Do we have any questions?
This is Sulochana from Ceylon Today newspaper. Well, I just wanted to ask you whether this whole detection was in the exclusive economic zone, or is it must be in that within that region? Is it correct? All oil pollutions that were detected, or in the mid-sea or international waters?
Actually, both can be done. I mean, thanks to satellites, we can focus the area wherever we want. In this particular exercise, in this particular projects, we have been discussing with MIPA to better understand which were the priority areas to be monitored. And it's true that we have mostly focused on the economic exclusive zone. I would say yes, this is probably the greatest part which has been monitored, but it also makes sense because this is where actually the maritime routes, maritime traffic lays. And if you take a look at the route, actually, if you take a look at the picture I showed previously, you can clearly see that all the pollutions are along the routes. So it does make sense to focus the monitoring in this very region. And this said, also from the regulation perspective, this is the mandate of Sri Lanka to monitor its waters within the exclusive economic zone. And this is because this is the mandate of the country to monitor and to protect this area. So all in all, yes, it didn't make sense to focus in this particular area.
Now we detected one oil spill and we find that particular ship, I think. Then there were about 26 polluters, and we have missed the rest. Is it during this 1 year period, this detection? So what is the logistic problem we have in sort of running after this ship and trying to get the fine? Is there any issues, and how can you sort of arrest this matter where you can find them fine like we did only with one ship?
You want to?
Actually, this is during the 1 year period, we have detected 26 vessel polluters. But basically, you know that in order to take the necessary legal action against the polluter, we have to have mechanism and we have to have facilities. We have detected 3 types of vessels who discharge illegally pollutant into Sri Lanka. Some vessels which are coming to Sri Lankan port, some are passing through our waters, some incident we reported when the ships within Sri Lankan waters. But when we receive such information, there should be a mechanism to go there and take them to custody and do the necessary investigation. Because we don't have necessary facilities to go there and catch the culprit and take the legal action. Due to that, we couldn't do it. But again, when we use this satellite images, there should be a ground station in Sri Lanka. Due to non-availability of ground station in Sri Lanka, this information we received 12 hours later. Then the ships has already passed through our waters. Due to this, we couldn't take most of the action. But in future, what we propose to have a ground station in Sri Lanka, then within 20 minutes, we can find the polluter and take the action against. Again, through the development of procedures and getting assistance from the other agencies like Navy, Coast Guard, using their resources, we can take the necessary action against the polluter future. Due to these issues, we took again action against one vessel only. Thank you.
Was this whole project was a grant from the French government or agency? The 1 year program?
Yes, it is a complete grant from the French government. We should thank them.
Okay, and the second part of it, how is it going to be? It has to be funded by them, or is it like collaborated decision in funding? Will it also be a
second phase of the project? Sri Lanka. Yeah, may I? Actually, second part, we are discussing what type of application, what we are going to use, what type of application. There are, other than the oil spill detection, there are other type of satellite application in order to find out fishing grounds. Again, detect the illegal fishing. Like that, there are several applications. We are discussing with other stakeholders to formulate comprehensive project. Based on that, we can decide the project cost. After that, we have to discuss with maybe the French government, French development agency or other agencies Whether we can get it as a soft loan or as a donation or not, we have to decide in future. Still, we have not decided which way we can get the fund. එලිමක් තියෙන අපිට අපේ අනිත් මීඩියා ආයතනත් තියෙන හින්දා මේ ප්‍රශ්න වලට උත්තර සිංහලෙන් උස්සපයන්න කියලා අර කලින් අහුව ප්‍රශ්නෙට ඇත්තටම අපි මේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක තුල ව්‍යාපෘතිය තුලදී 26 දිනක් වෙසල් 26ක් අපේ කලාපය දූෂණය කරා කියලා හොයාගත්තට අපිට එක වෙසල් එකකට එක නෞකාවකට එරෙහිව විතරයි අපිට නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න පුළුවන් උනේ. ඒකට ප්‍රධාන හේතුව උනේ සමහර වෙලාවට මේ තොරතුරු එනකොට ඒ නැව් අපේ කලාපයෙන් ඉවතට ගිහිල්ලා අපිට ඒ නැව අත්අඩංගුවට ගන්න අවස්ථාවක් නැහැ. සමහර අවස්ථාවලදී මොකද මේ තියෙන ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකේ විදියට අපිට ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් ස්ටේෂන් එකක් නැති හින්දා අපිට පැය 12කට පස්සේ තමයි මේ තොරතුරු එන්නේ. ඒක හින්දා අපිට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඇක්ෂන් ගන්න බෑ. අනිත් එක අපිට ගොඩාක් දුරින් වෙරළ කලාපයක සාගර කලාපයේ වුණාම අපේ සාගර කලාපයේ වුණත් ඈතින් වුණාම අපිට ඉක්මනින් නැවක් ගිහිල්ලා ඒ නැව ඩිටේන් කරලා තවදුරටත් තොරතුරු හොයාගන්න ක්‍රමවේදයක් හා අවශ්‍ය ෆැසිලිටි නැති නිසා. ඒක හින්දා තමයි එහෙම වුනේ. ඉදිරියේදී අපි මේ යෝජනා කරන ක්‍රමය තුල අපිට ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් ස්ටේෂන් එකක් අපේ ඒ සැටලයිට් ඉමේජස් ගන්න එස්ටැබ්ලිෂ් කරන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට විනාඩි 20කින් වගේ අපිට මේ ඇනලිසිස් එක කරලා මේ මොන නැවෙන්ද උනේ කොහෙද නැව තියෙන්නේ කියලා අදාළ පියවර ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ අනුව මේට වඩා එෆිෂියන්ට් විදියට සාර්ථකව මේ කටයුත්ත කරන්න පුළුවන් වේ.
Do we have any more questions? සිංහලෙන් උත්තහන්න පුළුවන්. That's it.
I am asking regarding the fact and findings of your project. So what are the findings to overcome these kind of victims to protect our maritime water?
Can you repeat it?
I am asking how to overcome these kind of victims. Did you find any recommendations from your project?
Recommendation of the project.
Well, the main recommendation from the projects are, well, to go forward with the new infrastructure, which will make the MIPA much more efficient to use the information in a more timely manner. As long as we have this delay of several hours to receive the information in Sri Lanka, we do lack efficiency, and it's quite easy actually to correct for this. The second recommendation is also to improve the coordination with other stakeholders, so that all the agencies in charge of managing the assets at sea should try to collaborate and to coordinate in order to have a more efficient response at sea. And the third main recommendation is regarding the regulatory framework of the country. I mentioned a few minutes back that in our success case, the vessel was fined up to 15 million rupiah. This amount is quite low compared to international standards. 15 million rupiah is a bit less than $50,000. I think that for something like that in Europe or in the US, the vessel would be fined 10 or 20 times more. So there is a real need, and we also addressed that during the project. Thanks to Mr. Asela, we were able to organize a workshop with the judges and prosecutors, and we made them aware that something had to be done to modify the law and make sure that this ceiling amount should be way higher, because it is not deterrent enough for a vessel like that to receive a fine of 15 million rupiah. We should be able, I mean, Sri Lanka should be able to find them at a much higher level.
I think we have one more question there. Can you please pass the mic?
Good evening. I would like to know what kind of mechanism has been established to this project to successfully deal with marine pollution, such as oil spills, to prevent such a situation occurring in the future.
Actually, this project, we use satellite technology to detect the oil spill in Sri Lanka, because all ships and ship owners, ship crews know that there is no surveillance system. In Europe, they know that there are satellite surveillance systems, therefore they obey to law. But here, especially in this region, there is no surveillance mechanism. When they know that we have surveillance mechanism, they will stop discharging the illegally oil or any other pollutant into Sri Lanka. That is one measure. When we have a long-term project, then ship owners and crew members know that there is surveillance system. If we discharge illegally any pollutant, there will be a repercussions. Through that one way, through that we can minimize pollution in Sri Lankan water. Other than that, to amending our act and increasing fine at the moment under the Marine Pollution Prevention Act number 35 of 2008, under the section 26 criminal liability, our fine is limited to 4 to 15 million. That is minimal to compare to international level. That is very low. We have to amend that section and increase in line with international standards. Then the ship owners has to pay that amount. That is big amount. Then if we implement such a 2-3 action against the polluter, then they know that they cannot escape after doing wrong things in Sri Lankan waters. Then illegal discharge, this nature illegal discharge, we can minimize in our water. That is the mechanism we should use in future. Other than that, this satellite detection, again, the surveillance system using Navy and the Coast Guard facilities, we have to have monitoring system. When we receive such an incident, we should quickly go there and inspect and take action against it. Through this, through the development of infrastructure to use satellite imageries in Sri Lanka, and through the development of process and enhancing resource available, we can minimize pollution in Sri Lanka. Thank you.
Do we have more questions?
Good evening to everyone. I think we noticed that only 207 images during the last 1 year out of, I think it is like every other day only they have taken the photograph, looks like. And even though there is a ground station, that means it will be detected every other day. So even there's a 12-hour delay will not going to be addressed. Even we are having a ground station, because if you are going to have images every other day. So just can you give us a sort of answer for that?
I think the answer to this question is in the deterrent effects that we want to put in place. Let me state that actually the situation in Europe. So in Europe, we do have a fully operational system with ground stations receiving the data in near real time. And it's only, I mean, this system has been put in place only 20 years ago. And before that, the amount of pollution that we were observing in Europe was totally similar to what we have now today in Sri Lanka. And since we have put this, we have put this system in place, so we are monitoring in Europe the European waters, and we have also organized the response at sea, and we are able to catch vessels and to find them at the right amounts of penalty. The level of pollution has been divided by at least 3 in our waters. Of course, we are not catching all of them, but the few ones that we catch serve as examples. And it's really here to create these deterrent effects so that the other would think twice before polluting in Sri Lankan waters. So that's the rationale of the approach, I would say.
Thank you. So we can accommodate one more question with the interest of time. Do we have any?
මම සිංහල භාෂාවෙන් අහන්නම් මූලික වශයෙන්ම මම ඇත්තටම ප්‍රශ්න කීපයක් අහන්න හිතේ තියන් හිටියත් අපි ගොඩක් අය ප්‍රශ්න අහපු නිසා මම ඉදිරිපත් නොකර මට වෙනත් ගැටලුවක් ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න මූලික වශයෙන් මම කැමති විශේෂයෙන්ම සමුද්‍රීය පරිසර ආරක්ෂණ අධිකාරියට සහ ප්‍රංශ රජයට විශේෂ ස්තුතියක් පිරිනමන්න මෙවැනි ව්‍යාපෘතියකට දායකත්ව දීලා අපේ සමුද්‍රීය පරිසරය ආරක්ෂා කරන්න උදව් කිරීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් මම ප්‍රශ්නයක් විදිහට අහන්නේ අපි මෑත ඉතිහාසයේ අපේ ලංකාවේ සමුද්‍රීය පරිසරය ආරක්ෂිතව වෙච්ච විශාලතම පොලූෂන් එක විදිහට අපි දැක්කේ එක්ස්ප්‍රස් පර්ල් නෞකාවේ සිදුවීම සහ බ්ලූ ඩයමන්ඩ් නෞකාව ආශ්‍රිතව වෙච්ච සිදුවීම්. ඒ නිසා අපි දන්න තරමින් දැන් අර ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එකේදීත් අපි දැක්කා ඊට වැඩි ප්‍රමාණයක් මාසිකව ඉන්ධන මේ මොහොතට මුදා හරිනවා. ඒකට ඒ වගේ විශාල හානියක් වෙනවා. දැන් අපි එක්ස්ප්‍රස් පර්ල් නෞකාවේ සිද්ධියේදී දැකපු දෙයක් තමයි නෞකාව යම්කිසි කාලයක් රඳවා තබා ගත්තත් සමුද්‍රීය පරිසර ආරක්ෂණ අධිකාරියට හැකියුනේ නැහැ ඒට විරුද්ධව නඩු පවරන්න. අන්තිමට නෞකාව මුදා හැරලා අපේ මුහුදු සීමාවෙන් එළියට අරන් ගියා. ඒකට නමුත් ප්‍රවෘත්තිවල තොරතුරු වලින් අපිට ඒකට කීවේ දේශපාලන මැදිහත් වීමක් නිසා එහෙම වුණායි කියලා. නමුත් ආයතනයක් විදිහට සමුද්‍රීය පරිසර ආරක්ෂණ අධිකාරිය නඩු පැවරීමට යම්කිසි ක්‍රියාමාර්ගයක් ගත්තේ නැහැ. මම දන්නේ ඒක පිටිපස්සේ තියෙන සිදුවීම මොකක්ද කියලා. දැන් මම අහන්නේ මේ වගේ දැන් සැටලයිට් තාක්ෂණ ගෙනල්ලා මේවා අඳුනා ගැනීමේ තාක්ෂණය ගේන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් නීතිමය ක්‍රියාමාර්ග ගැනීමේ යම්කිසි පසුබෑමක් යම්කිසි හේතුවක් නිසා පසුබෑමක් තියෙනවා නම් තාක්ෂණය ගෙනාවට මේවට අදාළ ක්‍රියාමාර්ග නීතිමය ක්‍රියාමාර්ග කරගෙන ඊට අදාළ වන්දි මුදල් අය කර ගැනීමේ යම්කිසි හැකියාවක් තියෙනවද කියලා කොහේ හෝ එතන එම කරන්න නොහැකියාවක් තියෙනවද? එහෙම පසු මේක ඒ ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න යම්කිසි අපහසුයක් තියෙනවද කියන එක දැනගන්න කැමතියි.
ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇත්තටම දැන් අපිට තියෙනවා අනතුරක් හින්දා සාගරයට මුදාහරින දූෂක නැවකින් ඉල්ලීගල් විදියට ඒ නැවෙන් හිතාමතාම මූදට දැමීම. දැන් ඔබතුමා සඳහන් කර නිව් ඩයමන්ඩ් නෞකාව හා MV එක්ස්ප්‍රස් පර්ල් නෞකාව සම්බන්ධව අපේ පනත අපේ අධිකාරිය පනත අනුව අපරාධ නීතිය යටතේ අපිට නඩු පවරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක සෙක්ෂන් 26 සෙක්ෂන් 34 වල තියෙනවා සිවිල් නීතිය යටතේ නඩු පවරන්න පුළුවන්. අපි ගත්තොත් නිව් ඩයමන්ඩ් නෞකාව සම්බන්ධව අපරාධ නීතිය යටතේ නඩු පවරලා පනතේ ප්‍රතිපාදන අනුව මිලියන 12ක වන්දියක් ලබා ගන්න හැකියාව ලැබුණා. ඊට අමතරව සිවිල් නීතිය යටතේ නඩු පවරලා තියෙනවා. ඔබතුමා දන්නවා අපේ නීති පද්ධතියේ කොච්චර කාලයක් නඩුවක් අවසන් වෙන්න යනවද කියලා. ඒක නඩු පවරලා තියෙනවා. නඩු පවරලා නැත්තේ නැහැ. නඩු පවරලා තියෙනවා. නඩුව මේ වෙනකොට විභාග වෙමින් පවතිනවා. අවසාන වෙන දවස පිළිබඳ නිශ්චිතව අපිට නිගමනයකට එන්න බෑ. ඊට පස්සේ MV එක්ස්ප්‍රස් පර්ල් ගත්තොත් ඒ නෞකාව සම්බන්ධව ක්‍රිමිනල් එහෙම නැත්නම් අපරාධ වගකීම යටතේ නඩුව ලංකාවේ පවරලා තියෙනවා. ඒකත් උසාවියේ මේ වෙනකොට විභාග වෙගෙන යනවා. ඊට අමතරව සිවිල් වගකීම පිළිබඳ අපි නඩුව ලංකාවේ පවරන්න උත්සාහ කිරීමේදී ඇත්තටම මේ අවස්ථාවේදී අපි නෙවෙයි මේ නඩුව සම්බන්ධව මූලික කටයුතු කරේ නීතිපති දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව හා අධිකරණ අමාත්‍යාංශය අමාත්‍ය මණ්ඩල අනුමැතියක් අරගෙන මේ සම්බන්ධව සිවිල් වගකීමේ නඩුකරය සිංගප්පූරුවේ පවරලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒ සිංගප්පූරුවේ පැවරුවට පස්සේ ඒ නඩුවටත් යම් කාලයක් යනවා. ඒ සිංගප්පූරුවේ පවරන්න වෙන හේතු පිළිබඳව යම් පැහැදිලි කිරීමක් නීතිපති දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව කරා. ඒ අනුව සිංගප්පූරුවේ පවරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම ඒක තමයි මේ වෙනකොට වර්තමාන තත්ත්වය. හැබැයි ඒ වගේම අපේ පනත් තුළ අපේ නීතිය තුළ යම් අඩලුහුඩුකම් තියෙනවා. මොකද අපි නෞකා සම්බන්ධව අන්තර්ජාතික නීතියක් ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා. අන්තර්ජාතිකව සම්මුති තියෙනවා. මේ සම්මුති බොහොමයකට ලංකාව මේ වෙනකොට පාර්ශවකරුවෙක් වෙලා නැහැ. ඒකින්ද මේ සම්මුති ලංකාවේ ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න විදියක් නැහැ. ඒක නිසා සමුද්‍රීය පරිසර ආරක්ෂණ අධිකාරිය විදියට මේ සිද්ධි දෙකෙන් ඉගෙනගත්ත දේවල් අනුව අන්තර්ජාතිකව තියෙන දේවල් අනුව පනත සංශෝධනය කරන්න අවශ්‍ය මූලික කටයුතු අපේ ඉඳපු සභාපතිතුමා මෙතන ඉන්න අසේලබී රැකමැතිතුමා එතුමාගේ ප්‍රධානත්වයෙන් ආරම්භ කරලා අදාළ කැබිනට් එකට සබ්මිට් කරලා ඊට පස්සේ මේ වෙනකොට කමිටුවක් පත් කරලා තියෙනවා සියලු ආයතන ඒකාබද්ධ කරලා කමිටුවක් පත් කරලා තියෙනවා පනත මොන විදියටද සංශෝධනය වෙන්න ඕන මොන ප්‍රතිපාදන එකතු කරනවද කියන එක අනුව ඒ කටයුතු කරාට පස්සේ නව පනතක් සියලුම දුර්වලතා අයින් කරලා අන්තර්ජාතික තත්ත්වයට මේ දවසේ වෙනකොට තියෙන ඩෙවලොප්මන්ට් වලට ගැලපෙන විදිහේ පනතක් අපිට හඳුන්වලා දෙන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි. දැනට තියෙන පනතේ ගැටලු හින්දා නෙමෙයි යම් කටයුතු හින්දා තමයි සිංගප්පූරුවේ නඩුව පවරන්න කටයුතු කරා කියන්නේ මොකද මේ නඩුව ලංකාවේ පැවරුවත් ලංකාවේ නඩුවෙන් තීරණයක් ගත්තත් ඒ තීරණේ ක්‍රියාත්මක කිරීම සම්බන්ධව යම් ගැටලු ඇති වෙයි කියන හේතුව මත තමයි සිංගප්පූරුවේ නඩුව පවරලා තියෙන්නේ. හැබැයි ඒ කාරණාවත් ඒ තීරණයත් අපෙන් පරිබාහිරයි ආයතනයක් විදියට ඒක නීතිපති දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව අධිකරණ අමාත්‍යාංශය අමාත්‍ය මණ්ඩල අනුමැතියක් අරගෙන තමයි ඒ විදියට පවරලා තියෙන්නේ. ස්තුතියි.
Thank you very much. And with that, we'd like to conclude the Q&A session.
ඒක කාරණාවට අදාළව මාධ්‍යමකින් ශ්‍රී ලංකා රජයට හැකියාව නොලැබීම ගැන ඒ කියන්නේ ජාත්‍යන්තර අධිකරණයේ නිශ්චිත කාල සීමාව තුළ නඩු පැවරුවේ නැති නිසා තමයි මේ වන්දි මුදල් අය කර ගැනීමට හැකියාව නොලැබුණේ කියන. එහෙම ප්‍රචාරයක් තමයි මේ තොරතුරු සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඔබතුමාට පිළිතුරක් දිය හැකිද? ඒ තොරතුරු නිවැරදිද කියන එක?
නෑ ඒ තොරතුරු නිවැරදි නෑ. අපේ නීතිය අනුව තමයි අවුරුදු 2කට කලින් නඩුව පවරන්න ඕන. අවුරුදු 2කට කලින් නඩුව පැවරීම සිවිල් කටයුතු සම්බන්ධව නඩුව පැවරීම සඳහා සියලුම අවශ්‍ය කරන තොරතුරු අපි නීතිපති දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවට ලබා දුන්නා. නීතිපති දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවත් මේ වෙනකොට නඩුව පවරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ නඩුව පිළිබඳ ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. ඒ නඩු කටයුතු සිදු වෙනවා. හැබැයි නඩු කටයුතු සිදු කරන එකේ පමාවීමක් තියෙනවා. මොකද මේ වගේ නෞකාවක් වුණාම සමහර වෙලාවට අවුරුදු 2කට කලින් නඩුව දාන්න පුළුවන්. අවුරුදු 5ක් දක්වා අපිට වෙච්ච ඩැමේජ් එක හානිය පිළිබඳ තොරතුරු ලබා දෙන්න පුළුවන් උසාවියට. ඒ වගේ කාල සීමාවක් ගත වෙන එකක්. කාල සීමාව ගත වෙන්නේ නඩු පවරලා තියෙන්නේ නීතිපති දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවට අධිකරණ අමාත්‍යාංශය අපි වෙත දැනුම් දෙපු විදියට.
All right, thank you so much. And with that, we conclude the Q&A segment. And now for the closing remarks, I'd like to invite Assistant Manager Planning, Marine Environment Protection Authority, Ms. Dinisha Atakorala.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As we conclude this significant event, it is my honor on behalf of MIPA to express our heartfelt gratitude to all who contributed to making this project and today's occasion a success. First, our deepest thanks go to our chief guest, Her Excellency Marie Noël Duris, Acting Ambassador of France to Sri Lanka and the Maldives. Your presence has graced this event, and we are truly honored by your participation. We are immensely grateful to CLS France and the Embassy of France to Sri Lanka and the Maldives for providing the resources and expertise needed to launch this nationally significant project. A special thanks to project managers Mr. Olivier Germain and Mr. Jean-Pierre Kozak, as well as CLS consultant Mr. Christian Kos, for your unwavering dedication to strengthening Sri Lanka's capacity in monitoring and safeguarding our marine environment. We truly appreciate your commitment and your journey from France to be with us today. And also to Mr. Niranjan Disanayaka, CEO of Just in Time Group. Thank you for your contribution and the encouragement. A sincere thank to Mr. Philippe Fort, French Economic Counselor to Sri Lanka, and Ms. Hema Ramachandran, Deputy Economic Counselor, all other members for your support in the success of this event. We extend special gratitude to Mr. Jagat Gunasekara, General Manager of MIPA, and Mr. Asela Rakava, former chairman of MIPA, whose visionary leadership has been the backbone of this project. Your guidance has ensured its smooth progress and successful execution. We would also like to extend our special gratitude to the Secretary of the Ministry of Environment for providing invaluable support to this initiative. Our heartfelt thanks to Captain Lakshi Vasantha, Deputy Harbour Master of the Sri Lanka Ports, and also appreciate the distinguished representatives from Sri Lanka Navy, Sri Lanka Air Force, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Department of Coastal Conservation and Coastal Resource Management, Central Environmental Authority, Arthur C. Clarke Institute, Department of Forest, for your collaboration. And not only that, Department of Fisheries, NARA, Merchant Shipping Secretariat, and Disaster Management Center also. And especially for joining with us despite your busy schedules. A special thank to our MIPA board directors, particularly Mr. Sanath Ranatunga and Mr. Rizvi Hassan, as well as the entire MIPA team, for your dedication and hard work in making this project a success. Finally, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to Media Center for National Development for graciously providing this venue for us today, and to the distinguished media professionals who made this media coverage and bringing attention to this important event. As we move forward, let us remember that this project is just the beginning. The collaboration between CLS and MIPA has paved the way for a future satellite-based monitoring system that will ensure long-term environmental monitoring protection in Sri Lanka. So once again, on behalf of MIPA, I offer my sincere thanks to each and every one of you for your presence and contribution today. I now invite you to join us for refreshment and continue our conversations over tea and coffee. Thank you so much.